process. The whole reproduction process is basically continuing life. The continuity of life is the basic thing behind reproduction. Now, how life can be continued? Only when there is a next generation after one generation, isn't it? Assume that a plant is there, and after that plant couldn't able to give rise to same kind of plant. After its age gets over, after its death, we won't find the same kind of plant in nature if reproduction won't happen. So this ultimately results in extinction, isn't it? We lose every species if reproduction will not happen. So among all life processes, reproduction is the most important process which continues life. Okay. Now when you have the reproduction concept, some new points somebody can, as he discussed the 3 points, Ronak is saying that one parent can also give rise to an organism by means of asexual reproduction, vegetative propagation. Yeah, I'll go with him. Yeah, those points are correct only. Justified two parents are not needed to produce a new organism being a false statement. Other than those points, anyone has any idea in their mind to justify that this is a false statement? Budding. Okay. Fragmentation. Co-formation. Good to hear very new words from Veda and Kirtana. Good to hear. Excellent. Yeah, Ronak, like in amoeba. Yeah, of course. Multiple fission, binary fission. Okay. So you people are listing out what are the different asexual methods and propagation methods. Good to know that you have good knowledge regarding the asexual means of reproduction. Okay, here the two parents are not needed to produce a new organism. That's absolutely true statement, not false statement, isn't it? Not needed. I included not. In that statement, two parents are needed. Now I say two parents are not needed. So not needed is a true statement. Why? Because there are other means of reproduction where the offspring can be produced, where single parent is enough. Okay. Now, when you take the reproduction process, it's nothing but giving rise to offspring. What does mean by offspring? Offspring is nothing but a new organism which will be reproduced by one or two parents. We are specifying one or two parents. So two parents is definitely sexual reproduction and one parent asexual reproduction. Okay. So this is the basic of offspring definition. Okay. We'll use offspring only, not daughter cell or mother cell kind of things. I'll use the offspring word frequently. Okay, get adapted to the word. So offspring is nothing but the newborn one, whether it may be plant or an animal, any other organism. Okay. Now, when you take a reproduction process, you'll be having a lot much importance behind the reproduction process. See, when you take reproduction, this is the feature of living organisms. Non-living organisms cannot grow and reproduce. That we discussed elaborately with virus as an example. Even though virus was a microorganism, it would be considered as a non-living thing because it cannot reproduce by itself, isn't it? So that's the importance of reproduction. And for continuity of the race and group also is the significance of reproduction. And it, of course, it increases the population of a particular species. We use the word species. Species are nothing but a group of identical individuals. Humans are a species. Apes are a species. Rabbits are a species. Hibiscus plants are a species. So species is nothing but grouping similar or identical individuals. So their population will be continued and their population will be increased and there won't be any immortality because of the reproduction. That's what significance of reproduction carries. Importance is nothing but significance of reproduction. Okay. Now when you take the reproduction process, we'll discuss with plants and with animals. First, we'll start with race. Okay, race. Race is nothing but generation. See, we are 21st race, the 21st generation. Like that, we have 20th race. Race is not something related to a competition of running, not like that. It's a kind of generation. A particular period of time in which individuals are living are called race. Okay? In biology.
Yes, ma'am.
You're done? You're done with the slide?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. See, here we have asexual reproduction terminology was given, but instead of that, we can say it as vegetative reproduction. Vegetative propagation or reproduction. Propagation would be the correct word. Vegetative propagation. So both are same. Okay, in some books they'll give asexual reproduction in plants. In some books they'll give vegetative propagation. But the correct word is vegetative propagation. So propagation is nothing but from parent to offspring. Okay, that's what the reproduction process actually. So that's the propagation. Vegetative. If you take plant, you'll be having two different types of parts. You'll be having vegetative part, and other than that, you'll be having sex organs in plants. So vegetative parts include root, stem, branch or branches, leaves. All these are vegetative parts. When you take the sex organs in plants, the sex organs in plants are nothing but the flower, fruit. Yes. And especially seed. Okay. So these are flower is a different one, Ronak. Flower comes under sex organs of the plant. So vegetative parts of the plant includes root, stem, branch, leaf only. Now here different examples I have given. Let me explain in simple terms. See, no seeds are required for vegetative propagation. So understand this point carefully. Seeds obviously are involved in sexual reproduction. Okay, so there might be a question where a seed can be categorized in which part of the plant, vegetative part or sex organ part. So this has to be underlined. This is not under vegetative propagation. It's definitely under sex organ of a plant. Now when you take vegetative propagation or asexual reproduction in plants, some plant root cuttings, when placed in water, not only pure water, water with kind of nutrients, they can grow into new plant. So only the root cutting of this plant was taken and planted in a separate pot with water with added nutrients, it may grow into new plant. So this is one method. This usually we'll see in case of household pots, some small pots. We'll see some kind of snake plant they call in general. If you would have heard, they'll grow like this. Even a small part of root cutting will grow into a new plant. So the vegetative part is growing into new plant, giving offspring. So that's a kind of reproduction. Then potato, obviously everybody know the eyes on the potato. These are called eyes on the potato. So when you cut down the eye of a potato deep and just sapling, it will grow into new plant. So here eye is nothing but the whole potato is nothing but the modification of root and stem, isn't it? So from the stem and root, new plant is growing. If this example, see the a kind of connectivity was shown here between two plants. So here this is called runner. I'll explain the next slide, the runner and stolon and elaborately. Just understand that from a part of leaf and stem also new plant can be grown. This is the example, and this is also an example. This bulb, this word also I'll explain the next slide. The runner, bulb, stolon, different methods of vegetative reproduction. where root, stem and branch are growing into new plant. This is the basic idea behind vegetative propagation. So how the plant gives rise to the next generation plant, whether it is giving through vegetative part or whether it is giving through sex organs. So if it is giving rise to new plants with the help of vegetative part, it is called vegetative propagation or asexual reproduction in plants. Okay. To grow into propagule. Word propagule means nothing but the part of the plant which is giving rise to new plant. Propagation is nothing but giving rise to new plant. So the part which is helping in giving rise to new plant is propagule. Okay. And angiosperm, don't get bothered about this word because angiosperms are the name of category of plants. Yes, flowering plants basically. So that is related to taxonomy. We are not interested about that over here. Our pure interest is on vegetative propagation. Okay. The eyes of potato, they'll give rise to new plant. Then rhizome. See, when you take ginger, that's what I'm explaining, Ronak. Propagation is the method where parent plant is giving rise to offspring through vegetative parts. So propagule are the parts of the plant which are giving rise to new plant. Okay. So here eyes of potato, the stem modification that is giving rise to new plant. Rhizome, understand the words, these are new terms. Rhizome is nothing but root-like structures on the ginger. I'm circling on the slide. So those are called rhizomes. Okay, rhizome is a part of ginger which gives rise to offspring. So that's a propagule in ginger. Then when you take agave, you would have seen this plant. I mean this one. See, agave. Have you seen this? I mean this is a vegetable. How to say? Like a cabbage and cauliflower, you will have this kind of vegetable. Generally, we call in Andhra Pradesh as nool kol. Have you heard such vegetable name? Any one of you? I mean, this kind of vegetable, have you ever been through? It's a highly potassium and protein food. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Usually, along with the broccoli and all, we are fascinated about the things which are very new to our kind of soils. But nool kol is the one which grows frequently in Telangana and other areas. So, but much commercial business was not then. So this vegetable you won't find frequently, but it's a very good protein food actually. So when you take here, our interest is bulbil. Okay, bulbil is a propagule. Again, propagule means what? That will help in propagation of that plant. So when you take this agave plant, you'll be having a small layers around the stem. So this is basically the stem under which you'll have roots. So here you'll have like cabbage, you'll have some layers around it. So from each layer you may get a new offspring. So that is called bulbil. So it's almost looking like a bulb, isn't it? That's why the name bulbil. That's one. Bulbil is a part of agave plant which gives rise to offspring. That's why bulbil is the propagule in agave plant. Agave is a plant name. Then leaf buds. Bryophyllum, you would have seen bryophyllum. Yeah, in general terminology, it will be called some other name. In biology, we call it bryophyllum. I don't know the common terminology. Okay, but you understand what it is. Okay, by seeing the peak. Now, leaf buds. The edges of the leaves, this very common thing you'll see in open yards and fields. Even on your pots, if you have one plant, it will grow like anything. It will move on, propagating all around the whole space. Heard? You have heard, Ronak? Okay, fine. That's fine. So from the leaves, again new plants will be produced with roots and all. See here. So from leaf itself, you'll get offspring. So leaf buds are the propagule in bryophyllum. Okay. Then water hyacinth. Water hyacinth you may not come across because we won't find this over here. Sometimes it's not actually falling off bud, Ronak. Even the leaf edge may grow into new plant and it may separate out later. It's not falling off bud actually. So while it's still there with the parent plant, it will grow. Okay, that's what the basic idea behind vegetative propagation exactly. Now, when you take a water hyacinth, you'll be having you didn't have seen these plants around here because they grow in polar regions. When you take water hyacinth, this is the one plant and this is another plant. The root parts are there. Okay, and one plant and another plant are connected through their branches. And again, the branch grows and gives rise to another offspring. So this is called offset. Offset is nothing but a connectivity between different plants. The branch grows and it will give rise to another plant. These are the hydrophytes. They live in water. And offset is a word we use for the branch part which gives rise to new offspring. Okay. Now I'll explain the runner and stolon terms. Okay. Give me a minute.
Ma'am?
Yes, just run.
Ma'am, are bulbil and bulbs same?
Bulbil. You want me to explain the bulbil word?
No, ma'am.
Bulbil is... I didn't get...
Ma'am, I was asking, are bulbil and bulbs same?
No. Bulb is nothing but... See, here when you take the picture, bulb is the whole stem-like thing in agave plant. Okay. Bulbil is kind of layer which are there forming the bulb of agave. Part of bulb, if you can say in the other words. Bulbil. Got it?
Yes.
Okay, fine. Here three new terms I'll give. Actually, these are things which you'll get in 10th standard, maybe in +1 in detail. But I just want to give an introduction about these terms over here as we are already discussing vegetative part. Here see runner, stolon. Runner and stolon are propagules. Okay. What are propagules? Propagules are vegetative parts like root or stem or leaf in that case. Okay. So all these are vegetative parts of plant that gives rise to offspring. Okay. Am I clear with that? So propagules. Runner and stolon are propagules. We'll take this example. This one. Runner is nothing but if you take this is the soil level. You're having a plant over here. Something like this. From this plant stem, it will fall down the stem part of this plant. And when it touches the soil, it gives rise to new plant. Got it? So here, when the stem is bending and falling on the soil and touching the soil, giving rise to new plant. So here, the same thing happens also. So under the soil, this stem part when it falls down, it will again give rise to new plant. Like this. So it goes on. Kind of running, you know. So that's what called runner. Runners are the propagules which will give rise to new plants, offspring. This is the runner. Okay. Then, as of you are asking, Ronak, stem fall, how is stem fall? Because of the wind force or the overweight of the plant, the stems will bend, isn't it? Got it? Yeah. So when the bends and touches the soil, it gives rise to new plant. So that's how the vegetative propagation happens in runner. And stolon. Stolon is also propagule. Here we use the bulb word now. Like that, stolon. Stolen is the best example of stolen is agave. In the other example, previous slide, agave example. In agave, what you'll have, I'm just drawing the other side of the slide. See, when you take the agave plant, you'll be having layers like this. Like the cabbage you'll be having various layers when you cut open. Okay, so here when you take the agave plant, a part of the agave plant is called stolen or bulbil, which when gives rise to new plant like this as an outgrowth. As an outgrowth, you will get a new plant again beside that itself. So this is kind of vegetative propagation. So that's not called stolen. Stolen is a term used as a propagate. Then bulb. Here the bulb. Best example bulb here they have shown. Colocasia, you know colocasia? Not exactly. Stolen or bulbil, why I used is both are stem modifications. I mean the stems will give rise to new plants. Bulbs are something like this and stolens are something like in agave. I gave separate example, no that. Got it, Ronan? Both are different, but both are stem propagules, which will give rise to offspring. Clear?